For this, we're going to be testing whether the power supply is the reason we have the yellow light of death. As you can see, I've removed the power supply, which is this one. We just checked the fuse on. That's still good. Now, in order to test whether the power supply itself is faulty somewhere, you're going to need a power supply out of a computer. This one is not powerful enough, which is why I have this other one plugged in here. But, so you can get the idea. Now once you have a power supply, you're going to need to find and trace back all these wires to the board. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. Now once you trace them back to the board, they should be all labeled on the board. Like this one here is the remote to turn it on. Then we have negative 12 volt, 5 volt, so on. Now, you're also going to have to look up the model of your power supply and locate the pinout values, which are the voltages coming out of these pins here. Now on mine I have 4. There's also 3 and 5. I found out, and I'll post a link on the bottom, that on this one I have 5 volt, ground, ground, 5 volt. You don't need to know the amps, you just have to make sure that whatever power supply you're using puts out enough amps. This one is 22 amps, so I figured that would be plenty. And then both these plugs that it plugs into on the bottom are 12 volt and then ground. At least on this model. I'm pretty sure it's like that on all of them. You should double check. And obviously you'll have to know which one's positive and which one's negative. This yellow wire I have here is the positive on mine. And so I've routed the wires back to the board in here, found out what values they are. I've hooked them all up in different ports. 5 volt, ground, ground, and another 5 volt here, all leading to this. And then I have the other 12 volt and the 12 volt ground attached here. Now in order for the power supply to turn on, you're going to have to trick it. There is a PS on or remote wire in here, and it's going to be located on this big clip. I've noticed that it's normally the 4th one down, and it'll be the only one of its color. And you have to attach it to a ground, which is normally located right below. And that's so that this power supply itself will turn on. And also, you're going to need to attach the power supply to a load on the side, so it's not only powering the PlayStation. Now I've attached it here to some fans that I've put on my PlayStation, so when I plug it in, the power supply will also be running the 3 fans I have on mine. So now that we're all hooked up and ready to go, plug it in. And we have our fans running, all 3. And we also have a red light now on the PlayStation. Now, if I turn it on and we still have the yellow light, then the power supply is most likely good, and that it's actually the processor that may need to be reballed. And we still have the yellow light. So the power supply is good. But this is how you test whether it is or not.